My name is Leo, and welcome to another reading of the Elder Scrolls. Today we'll be reading Redguards, The History and the Heroes by Destry Metrag. Let me read that name again. Destry... Oh, sorry, got me. I apologize. It was Destry Melag. Oh, I feel like such an idiot. Anyway, let's read the book. Notes on the Redguards, their histories, and their heroes. This is a publisher's proof of the initial draft of my book, Redguards, their history, and their heroes. The following is a collection of the tales, myths, and history of the Redguards. Much of their history is shrouded in mystery and in the mists of time. It is hard to distinguish between myths and real history. Below are the first chapters of the draft. Oh, it's got his name there. By Destry Melag. Author's note as translated into the modern tongue of Hammerfell. Fender Hunding. Oh, I know that person. That person was mentioned in yesterday's book. Oh, it's almost like I should read all the Redguard stuff and just do all of the Redguard lore at the same time so it's still fresh in my mind. Fender Hunding was born in 2356 in the old way of reckoning. Which, if I remember correctly, was like third era. Oh, it doesn't matter. Sometime in the third era. It is our beloved deserts, or in our beloved deserts of the old land. The traditional rule of emperors has been overthrown in 2012. That sounds weird, because it sounds like well, it's 2017 now, but you know whatever. And although each successive emperor remained the figurehead of the empire, his powers were very much reduced. Since that time, our people saw 300 years of almost continuous civil war between the provincial lords, warrior monks, and brigands, all fighting each other for land and power. Our people once were artisans, poets, and scholars, but the ever-evolving strife made the way of the sword inevitable. The song of the blade through the air, through flesh and bone, not blown. What is blown? Never mind about that. Its ring against armor, an answer to our prayers. How many pages are there? Oh god, it's really long. I don't have enough for this today. Oh. Fuck, too late. I got a sore tooth today. It can hurt when I talk. Power throat. Alright. At least you don't have a sore throat. Well, I still have a nasty ass cough, but. Moving on. In the time of Lord Frandar, the first warrior prince, lords called Yokeda built huge stone castles to protect themselves and their lands, and castle towns outside the walls began to grow up. In 2020, yeah, wait, 2020? Sorry, in 2245, however, Manzel Senit came to the fore. He became the Elden Yokeda. Pretty sure I'm saying that wrong. I'm saying that using like Japanese phonetics because that's what I know, but I believe it's more like Yokeda or something like that. Our military dictator. Oh, the Elden Yokeda is the military. And for 8 years, succeeded in gaining control of almost the whole empire. When you say the empire, you mean the Redguard Empire? I guess. Sure. Okay. So where's this hammer? What hammer? The hammer that fell in Hammerfell. What about the dagger that fell in Daggerfall? I don't think that. No. There is lore. There is lore that a dwarven, either a dwarven dude or a god, like threw a hammer from like Morrowind somewhere and it like landed in Hammerfell. And that's why it's called Hammerfall. Hammerfell. Hammerfell. What about Daggerfall? Ah, no idea about Daggerfall. Anyway. God damn it, where were we? You're never gonna finish the fucking story. Just keep fucking doing goddamn, what's the word? Introductions. Yes, stop it. Anyway. 8 years, sailing age of almost the whole empire. When Sesnet, you're doing it again. And I want to say that. Okay, fine. Sesnet, more like Shiznet. Okay. Was assassinated in 2253. A commoner took over the government. Randik Torn continued the work of unifying the emperor, which Sesnet had begun, ruthlessly putting down any traces of insurrection. He revived the old gulf between the warriors, the sword singers, and the commoners by introducing restrictions on the wearing of swords. Torn's sword hunt, as it was known, the wearing of swords. No, wait, no, I said that already. Meant that only the singers were allowed to wear swords, which distinguished them from the rest of the population. Well, technically, I understand a sword singer like creates a spirit sword, right? Which if you played Skyrim or probably other games, you'll know what that is. It's like a spell, like to summon a sword, right? But if you summon a sword and you like put it on your person, you're still wearing it. You can't technically wear the sword. You can just summon the sword at a moment's notice and gut someone with it and then put it away, I guess. Also, this really reminds me a lot of Japan. Talking about unifying the empire, you know, Nobunaga and Hideyoshi Toyotomi. And then the sword hunt, which like happened at the beginning of the Meiji era. A lot of comparisons here. But then again, I believe the Redguards are at least partly based on samurai culture. Maybe I made that up. Yeah, there's a lot of actually. I feel a lot of commonalities between Redguards and I forgot the people, but in Game of Thrones, in Eastos, the guy the guy that teaches Arya Stark in series 1. Oh, wasn't what's his name? Yeah, I forgot his name. The guy with many faces, wasn't he also from that? You mean oh god, I know it. It starts with a B. Barbados, Barbaros, Babylon, no, oh, fuck you, I know this. Oh, don't make me look it up. No, I know it. God, what is it? Oh fuck you. Game of Thrones, no, I'm doing it. Game of Thrones, sword, city. That's not gonna help. No, it's not. Oh, what is it called? Oh, it's Bravos. Sirio Farrell, the Fast Sword of Bravos. Oh, jeez, that took too long. Anyway, back to the story. Where were we? Last paragraph. Okay. Although Torn did much to settle the empire into its pre-strife ways, by the time of his death in 2373, internal disturbances still had not completely been eliminated. Upon his death, civil war broke out in earnest. War that made the prior 300-year turmoil pale in comparison. It was in this period that Frandar Hunding grew up. Hunding belonged to the sword singers. This element of empire society grew from the desert artisans and was initially recruited from the young sons and daughters of the high families. They built the first temple to the unknown gods of war, and built a training hall, the Hall of Virtues of War. The Hall of the Virtues of War. Okay. It's kind of stupid to have two ofs in the title of your place, but whatever. Within a few generations of the Way of the Sword, within a few generations, the Way of the Sword, the Song of the Blade, had become their life. The people of the Blade kept their poetry and artisanship in building beautiful swords woven with magic and powers from the unknown gods. The unknown, how do you... I don't know. Question mark God. The greatest among them became known as Aesir. Yes, I know this name. Or Saints of the Sword. Each of these began their own training schools, teaching their individual way of the sword. Those Ansei of the highest virtue wandered the countryside, engaging in battle, righting wrongs, and seeking to end the strife. To sum it up, Hunding was a sword singer, a master Ansei. At the time when the peak of the strife was reborn out of the chaos of Torn's death, many singers put up their swords and became artists. For the pull of the artisan heritage was strong, but others, like Hunding, pursued the ideal of the warrior, searching for enlightenment through the perilous path of the sword. Duels of revenge and tests of skill were commonplace, and fencing schools multiplied. What time is it? Frenda. What the fuck is this? Frenda du Hunding Hell Ansai no Shida. Oh, that's his fucking name? Jesus. Or as it's commonly known, Frenda Hunding was born in the far desert marches in the province of High Desert. High Desert? You mean in that place that I've forgotten the name of? Not Hammerfell, but the other place? Maybe. Hunding was the name of the High Desert region near where he was born. No Shira means noble person or person of noble birth, and Hell Ansei is the title of sword sainthood. Hunding's ancestors reach back to the beginning. Wait, what? So what's his real name then? Hunding's the name where he's born. Yeah. So his name is Frenda. Du, I guess, means from. So it's like Frenda from Hunding, who's a really top bloke, and he's also a saint. Yeah. Hunding's ancestors reach back to the beginning of recorded time in the High Desert and were artisans and mystics. His grandfather was a retainer of the Elden Yokida, Mansell Seznit. Oh, yeah, that name, that's said before. And led many to the Battle of Unification prior to Seznit's assassination. When he was 14, Hunding's father died in one of the many insurrections, and he was left to support his mother. Now I know, the book that we read, I was thinking who was, like, Hunding was the father in the story we read yesterday. Yes, the story we read yesterday was about Dividend, and we'll have a look in a moment when we finish the story, but yes, and how many more pages are there? Too many. Yes, yeah, Dividend was the son. Yeah, Hunding was, like, spoken about as an old dude in that story. Anyway, moving on. When he was 14, Hunding's father died. In one of the many insurrections, he was left to support his mother and four brothers. Don't read it like that, sorry. His prowess with the sword, however, made his life both difficult and easy. Easy in that his services came at great demand as a guardian and escort, hard in that his reputation preceded him, and many awaited their turn to face him in battle and gain instant fame through his defeat. By the time Hunding was 30, he had fought and won more than 90 duels, killing all of his opponents. Oh wow, that's pretty tough. He became virtually invincible with the sword, gaining much skill and mastery that he finally stopped using real swords, the real swords created through the artisanship of his people and began using the Shi-Hai, or Way of the Spirit Sword. All sword singers learn through their intense training and devotion to the gods of war the way of the sword, the forms of discipline that allow the creation of the spirits. This is a simple form of magic or mind mastery, whereby an image of a sword is formed through pure thought. The sword singer forms the sword by concentrating, and it takes shape in his hand, virtually a pale thing of light, misty and insubstantial. A thing of beauty, perhaps, a symbol of devotion to the way and the gods. No weapon. Oh, it's not a weapon? Oh. However, those inside of the highest level and sensitivity, and those with talent in magic, can at times of stress form a spirit sword. The Shi-Hai, which is far more than light and air. It is an unstoppable weapon of great might, a weapon that can never be taken from the owner without also taking his mind. So it's like a lightsaber, kind of. You take a lightsaber. No, but I mean, it's like, it can like cut through anything, you know? The Shi-Hai became Hunding's weapon, and with this, he slew bands of brigands and wandering masters that infested the land. Finally, upon finishing his 90th duel, defeating the evil Lord Janik and his 7 lich followers, he was satisfied that he was indeed invincible. Hunding then turned to formulating his philosophy of the Way of the Sword. He wrote his learnings down in the Book of Circles, which we heard about yesterday, while living as a hermit in a cave in the mountains of high desert in his 60th year. Oh, God, 60 years old? Damn. This is where his son tried to find him, right? In that year, Hunding, having enlisted in many battles of the Empire, defeated all opponents, had thought himself ready for death and retired to his cave to capture his strategy and mystical visions to share with the other sword singers. It was after his completion of the scroll of the circle that the singers found him composing his death poem and preparing to join the gods of war in final rest. At 60, he was a vigorous man. A vigorous man? Who thought himself through with life. But his people, the sword singers, needed him. They needed him as never before. Torn's sword hunt had separated the singers from the common people, and the rise of the last emperor began. The last great strife of the Desert Empire. The emperor and his consort Elsa's final effort to wrest control of the empire from the people by destroying the sword singers. Yes, I remember this. Hero vowed to search out every singer with his brigand army composed of orcs and cast-offs of the wars of the empire, and to scourge them from the face of the planet. The sword singers were never a numerous people. The harsh deserts kept the births few, and growing up in the unforgiving wastes eliminated all but those of iron spirit and will. Thus, the final strife, which became known as the War of the Singers, found the people of the sword unprepared and unready to join together their individually great skills into an army that could defend their homes and lives. Frandar Hunding was sought out, his death poem interrupted, and unceremoniously command of the singers was thrust upon him. To the unknown gods of war, great thanks is owed that Hunding had the time in his cave to write down his years of accumulated vision, of strategy, of the way of the Shi-Hai. The singers fled from their camps up to the desert hills and mountains, fled to the foot of Hatu, the father of mountains, where Hunding had gone to write in peace and to die. And there these remnants formed into the army of the circle. They learned Hunding's way, his strategies, his tactics, and the final great vision of a master stroke. I'm gonna pause the video for a second. Okay. Back. Hunding devised a plan of 7 battles, leading the armies of Hira further and further into the wilderness, to the foot of Hatu, where the final battle could be fought. Hunding called his plan the Hammer and the Anvil. With each battle, Hunding's singers would further learn his strategies and tactics, grow strong in the use of the Shihai, and be ready to defeat their opponents in the 7th battle. And thus it was, the 6 first battles were waged, each neither victory or defeat, each leading to the next, the larger armies of Hira following the small army of Hunding. Outnumbered 30 to 1, the singers never faltered from the way. Sorry, got lost in thought. Never faltered from the way. The stage was set. Hira and his armies maneuvered to the base of Hatu Mountain, where the hammer blow was delivered. The battle was pitched, and many singers fell that day. Hunding knew that the singers who lived would be few, but Hira and his empire of evil would not live. And so it went. At the end, Hunding and less than 20,000 singers survived the day, but no army of evil was left to pillage and murder. More than 300,000 fell that day on Hatu. Of those who were left to run and live, all were scattered to the 4 winds, an organized force no more. The singers packed their lives, folded their tents, mourned their dead, and followed Hunding to the great port city of Arch, in the province of Seawind. There, Hunding had a flotilla of ships waiting. The singers left their desert for a new land, no longer welcome in the Desert Empire. They left to be sung about and spoken of in legend. The final great warrior, the singers of Shihai, the Book of Circles, all leaving that land where their virtue was unappreciated. Red with blood they were, in the eyes of the gentle citizens. Good enough. Never mind that they had saved them from a great evil. The singers vowed to learn new ways as they traveled across the great ocean to their new land, to adopt a new name, but to honor the past in honor of their final battle. They named their new land Hammerfell, and adopted the name Redguards. Oh, okay, so this whole event happened back on that place that I forgot the name of, the island. So then they all moved to Hammerfell. So they named it Hammerfell? But why? Well, hang on. Can we just go back for a second? No, because we're almost finished. Okay. In honor to Hunding, the great warrior prince, each household in Hammerfell has a place by the hearth, an alcove, really. Oh, just a niche, big enough to hold the scroll, the Book of Circles. Yeah. Anyway, this great plan they had, the hammer and anvil, where is it? Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I guess he did something. And they called in the hammer. And then when they got to land, they said, okay, well this is where hammer is. The Hammerfall. Is that really how they named that shit? Maybe. Fine, I'll believe you. Alright, well, that's, wait, what's the date today? Today? Today's the 9th. Today is the day that Persona 5 is supposed to start. Stop talking about it. It's not gonna happen. No, I keep thinking about it. No, it's done now. We're done. Playing Daggerfall, that's it. Yeah, you're right. Alright, so that has been, that was Redguards, The History and the Heroes by Destry Melag. Now, I believe that was in fact only the first chapter. Yeah, the first chapters of the drive. It wasn't the whole thing. That was just talking about hunting. Which, if I can find my book, is that it? Yeah, give it up a second. Blah, 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 blah. Right. So did he go to Hammerfell as well? Oh, here we go. He's not Hira, Burning High Desert. Yes. Shihai. Well, so yeah, so it was Divad that Divad. It was Divad that convinced Hunding to actually come out of retirement and help him. The rest of the state's history. Well, we just read about that history. So he hadn't actually done his training. Became an advisor. He read the Book of Circles. But his role in the Hammer and Anvil strategy was as a simple citizen fighter. Okay, so he fought in the battle as just a regular guy. And then they went to Hammerfall. Alright, well that was a bit of Redguard history for you. A little two-parter of Redguard history for you. But we won't be reading a book tomorrow. You wanna know why? Booyah! We're in Way West. Alright, so we will arrive there at about 11 o'clock tomorrow. So I don't really need to save. No, I wasn't going to save anything. Yeah, so when we come back, we're gonna be doing some shit in Way West. What do I want to do in Way West? I want to buy a house. I'm thinking about dumping the ingredients in my house. What is that? Wait, are those ingredients? They must be. Oh, sorry, I took them out because I thought they were just necklaces. No, they're actual things. Because you're still not that full. It's not the fact that I'm full, bro. It's the fact that there's books. Now, I recently tried to get the books at the top of the list here. But I bet you $5. Oh, you need to save. Yeah, you're right, I do need to save. Because otherwise that shit won't save. So let's just save it here. Wait, what episode are we now? 89? Right, I thought yesterday was 89. Was it 90? Fuck, I don't know. No, it's 89. It's 89 end. Okay. You say so. So if I were to go and load that site, $10 says all those books that I tried to get, except for the series ones. I tried to get all of the other books to the top of the list. So, it would be easy to look at, to get access to them, for later. But, why does it do that? Hey, I have another idea. Use your you've got an auto clicker program. Use it to suck up all of the ingredients. I won't be able to hold it all. Wait, do you get encumbered if you do that? How encumbered are you right now? Fuck it, let's do a test. I don't think you'll be able to. I believe you have, well, it might not be there now. I've got armor. Oh, fuck it, let's just, let's try it, see what happens. Worst that can happen is you waste all your time. Oh, shit. God, I wish I had an auto clicker right now. It's not, oh, there's books there. Yeah, it's fine. I just wanna... Well, I would say I'd be over encumbered by now. Yep. Okay, so what you could do, yeah. using an auto clicker or something, you could be careful not to suck up any books, otherwise you'll fuck up the order. You could, yeah, collect all of the these things, the ingredients, put them in, which will put them at the top of the list, but then save the game, load the game, and it might put it at the bottom of the list. Maybe. It's worth a try. It is worth a try. Alright, anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But for now, my name is Leo, and I'll see you next time.